Hi, Erika Larkin here. This is week 4 of 6 for the Larkin Golf Project 2012 with student Eric Labass. Thanks so much for tuning in on the update from this week's progress. We decided to take his skills that he's been learning and the new driver swing and the new process out to the golf course and test out his ability to use it in play. So we played 9 holes the first day this week, and wanted to show you a couple of shots from the course early in the 9, and yes, that's actually some wonderful pollen flying across the screen. So allergies are very high right now here in Virginia. We have you could see the weight transfer has been a little bit compromised as soon as he went to the golf course. This downswing looks really good, and then he just hangs back a little bit. So we were seeing a lot of pulls to the left. The hands were rotating through and releasing, so he wasn't hitting the slice he did the first day I met him, but I kept showing him and reiterating to him in the process of the practice swing that he needed to continue to focus on slowing his speed down a little bit, and he could identify too when he overswang and working really hard on just finishing on his left leg at the end of his swing. So here he is on a par 3 hole, and by the end of the round, this is actually hole 17, he looked a little bit more like this as he was hitting the ball back to his good follow-through position, extension of the arms, and good tempo. So much, much better just by continuing to stay present and remember the swing thoughts throughout every attempt. While we were out on the course, I noticed that he was having a little trouble with his wedges, even though his technique has improved and he's left-handsy. Just to me looked like he was losing his posture. You could see how low he started the swing. Even in practice, he was just really crouched down. So the more of these he was trying to hit, he was just really crowding himself. So as we worked on his distance control with his wedges, I also got him to stand a little taller and realize he didn't have to get down to the ball that way, and then he could just stay very steady, stay very tall with his head, and let his arms go down for the ball, and that really helped with his ability to not hit it fat, get better control, hit a softer shot, and he was able to really dial in his distance. Just to give you an idea of what we use to practice, I just use these alignment rods and prop them up in the ground at different yardages. I think it was 20, 25, 30, 35 yards. So we practiced flying the ball with a couple of his different wedges to these yardage poles, and it really helped him get a visual for, 1, how to practice, and 2, how to bring his distance control back to the golf course next time we try. Okay, the second time we met this past week, I had Eric hit some shots off the lie board. I noticed, again, his posture for some reason wanted to kind of creep back down. He was starting with the toe really, really up in the air. Notice how the golf club is not flat against the ground. The heel is down, and I was worried that with the ball flight really moving straight to left, a lot of curvature to his ball flight, that he was either over-releasing the club face, or there was maybe a problem at this point with the clubs just not fitting his new swing or being too upright, which would cause the toe to be really up at impact. And so I wanted to test that. So we used the lie board, and basically what we found was this. You could see that the bottom of the club, the strike pattern was a little bit more to the heel, and the contact was out on the toe of the club. See those purple marks on the tape? So I tried to get him into a flatter lie club just to see if it would make a difference, and it helped a little bit, but we still wanted to see if we could correct the strike pattern along with him feeling that he would delay his hands a little bit, not flip the club too much on the way through, but also stand a little taller to allow at impact for the club to come in and strike the bottom of the middle of the sole instead of the heel. And it did help a little, but I'm going to keep an eye on this and make sure we don't need to make an adjustment. If this stays like this, we would probably want to get his clubs bent appropriately, maybe even add a 1/2 inch of length to the shaft to get a better contact, so he doesn't have to fight a club that's too upright for his swing, which causes the ball to go more left. All right, and last but not least, we did work on some chipping as well. I wanted to help him understand how to better utilize different clubs for different distances around the greens, and his chipping technique was pretty good because his hands stay quiet, but I got him to probably center his weight a little bit more on his left leg through impact and realize how to really run the ball out different distances using different clubs. So here you could see he just landed the ball in the yellow circle with, that's a sand wedge, but we did this with the pitching wedge, we did it with the 8-iron, and we got different clusters of balls, keeping the landing spot in the same place. He was able to understand how the different clubs could be utilized on the golf course more effectively and in different situations. So I'm excited to see him again on the course next week. We're planning on doing a longer playing session and keeping score and using these shots and using his wedge skills that he's developing, as well as trusting his pre-shot routine and his swing thoughts out there to try to see if we can lower his scores a bit. So I'll keep you posted. Tune in again next week, and thanks so much for listening and watching. Take